a registered 501c3 charitable organization. Our mission is to document and memorialize the fan experience during live music events. We accomplish this mission in several ways: writing show recaps, interviewing fans at shows, and hosting a podcast, giving fans an opportunity to share their stories and get interviewed. We rely heavily on sponsors and donors. If you are interested in contributing, please visit our website, www.wearethelluckyones.org, or send us an email at watlopodcast@gmail.com. Before we get started with this episode of We Are the Lucky Ones podcast, let's give a shout out to a few of our sponsors. Thank you to Simpson Yancey Law, Letter 9, and Magic and Glory. You helped us get off the ground, and we are eternally grateful. Now enjoy your show. Today's episode is called How Panic Grabbed Your Leg. Every spreadhead knows the moment they were officially sucked in, the proverbial panic leg grab, as mentioned in the stunning song Vacation. Let's hear fans' experiences of how, when, and where panic grabbed their legs, spanning different decades and eras of panic. We'll hear specific songs, dissect lyrics, and go into moments in the live concert experience where fans intuitively knew that they'd be seeing this band for the rest of their life. Before we dive in, we're going to do some quick individual introductions for each guest and then pull us into a group discussion. So my name is Danny. I'm one of your co-hosts. I've been seeing Panic since I was 19, and I'm excited to share more about my first show experience, which is how I was hooked for life. Jeffrey?
My name is Jeffrey. I'm also co-hosting here today at the WATLO podcast. And I was also 19 the first time I saw Widespread Panic play on that fateful day in Portland, Oregon on 11/11/94. And I grew up in Colorado, but I lived most of my adult life here in Oregon, where I am currently.
Yay. Emma, do you want to go next?
Yes. Hi, my name's Emma. Panic pulled me in around the time I was 22. I'm 26 now. I've spent a lot of my adult life in California, but I just moved back to my hometown in New York.
Thank you. Will, can you introduce yourself?
Yes, hello everyone. My name is Will. I live in South Carolina. I live in the home of James Brown and William the Refrigerator Perry as well. Panic first pulled me in when I was 16 years old, and I'll tell a story about that later. But it's good to be here, and look forward to hearing everybody's tales of widespread panic.
Yay. And lastly, Drew, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Oh my God. So I'm Drew. Some people call me Princess Sammy. I'm known for a lot of things, or maybe a couple little things.
I thought before we hear from our guests, really quickly, Jeffrey and I could share our panic leg grab stories. So Jeffrey, do you want to go first?
I grew up in Colorado, and everyone thinks, oh, Widespread Panic, Red Rocks, this and this. Although when I left Colorado, it was 1994. So Widespread Panic hadn't yet been crowned the kings of Red Rocks at that point. At any rate, so I didn't see Panic till I got to Oregon. I was in college, and that first show, 11/11/94, it struck me in many ways. And I will say what really grabbed me, they say a lot with these bands, you don't really get it the first time, but then I went again on 6/5/96, June 5th, 1996, at the Shampooweek State Park amphitheater in St. Paul, Oregon. It's like it's like it sounds. It's a little state park, like a little mom and pop. There's like a campground and this like grass parking area and the creek and this little amphitheater that they had no idea what was coming. I don't know. That was definitely a one and done Widespread Panic show. They were never invited back to the Shampooweek State Park, but that show was so insane. I just remember getting there and I was 19 years old, or no, I was 20. I was right about to turn 21. Anyway, Leftover Salmon opened for them, and it was like the daytime show, and then by the time Widespread was playing, it like got dark, and the full moon, it was a blue moon. It rose right above these trees, and the crowd was just electric. And the two moments I'll recall the most that really took me, just shocked me, and like really got my attention. First of all, they closed the first set with the song, a Guess Who song, "No Sugar Tonight," New Mother,
Yeah.
which actually, when I was in high school, my dear friends had this little cabin up in the woods, and there was a record player up there. So we had this little miniature vinyl collection, and we'd go up there, me and my four best friends, just spend the weekend camping or whatever. And we listened to that Guess Who record over and over again. And so No Sugar Tonight, New Mother Nature, that was already one of my anthems. And so when they started playing that song, it just hit me like, wow, they can do this. They can just play the song that I already know and love, that's already part of me. And then the way they played it was incredible. And so that first set was amazing. And I remember at the set break even thinking, wow, I can't believe they did that. And then in the second set, they played Tall Boy, which I had never heard Tall Boy before. And they're playing the song, and I'm listening, and I'm like, they're singing about tall boys, like the cans of beer that my friends and I adore so much. And we thought we were all cool because we called them tall boys. We're like, oh, dude, we're going to the store to get some tall boys. We thought it was like our hip, cool lingo that we had. And then here's this band playing a song about these cans of beer that we loved so much in the summer of '96.
There you have it.
Thank you, Danny. So,
Yeah.
Peppy, just amazing. So that's hiding in the tall grass. I mean, with that whole lot scene was just in this grassy field with like rolling hills, and I mean, it just all tied in together so well. That moment was just, it's amazing. A song with such a standard of Panic, like Tall Boy, could at that moment be so new. Like, what is this? Like, it's amazing to think about. Something I take for granted. I'm like, oh, Tall Boy. But at that moment, it was just absolute discovery. So
That's the part about Panic is the discovery and the imagination and it's like secret wonder.
but that's my story. So
To be fair, I think that was their 37th time ever playing that song.
Really, it was just a baby.
He was just a baby.
That was a baby Tall Boy.
How many?
A medium tall boy.
How
But hey, we'll take what we
many
get.
times now on Tall Boy?
So I have a Tall Boy story. So when Tall Boy was a baby, amongst tapers, like before it really had a real name per se, Battlefield. In fact, I still call it Battlefield.
Really?
That's just me being old as hell and bullheaded. But yeah, Naked in the Mud was floated out there, but Battlefield was kind of alternate name. But Tall Boy is the official name. But before it had its official name per se, Battlefield and Naked in the Mud were how sometimes it would get labeled on tapes, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Yeah.
Well, in Boston, it was their 511th time.
Damn. Wow.
I thought it would be more.
Really?
Honestly.
There's not that many songs they've played over 500 times. That's another podcast topic. Well, I'll share my story real quickly, and then we'll get into our guests. I'll try to go quickly. So in the summer of 2009. About 8 of us piled into a car and drove 16 hours to 10,000 Lakes Music Festival,
Oh my Lord.
which is like the closest city is Fargo, North Dakota. Beautiful campgrounds, beautiful festival. But there were 4 nights, 4 headliners, so it was Panic. They did 2 full sets each night. Panic, Wilco, Panic, and then Dave Matthews Band. And the first night was fun. That's 7/22/09. But the second Panic show, so the third night of the festival, I think I was just like more in festival mode, like we had just gotten there, drove 16 hours, rolled into Panic. I was probably like really drunk and don't really remember it. But then 7/24, I was like feeling really good. And Conrad was always like my favorite song.
That's my favorite.
Yeah, it's so good. And it like always hits no matter what stage of life you're in, this like evolution and like, I don't know, working
It
hard. So when the band started playing Conrad, I was like in the pit and these like old hippie women, like super long hair, could see how much I was like feeling it. And they just like led me to the rail. And I was like right under schools for all of Conrad till the very end. And I don't know, it just felt so like kind and welcoming and like these are my people. Like, they obviously saw how much it meant to me spiritually and physically and then to like have that experience of just being like escorted to the rail felt very special. So, actually Nugs has the show but not Conrad, so I'll play this taper version. I've never heard it. Brick Walls Beware. All right. So yeah, there's Conrad. And then I never saw Dave Matthews Band or Wilco again, and I'm hitting my 150th Panic show this weekend. So needless to say, I had a favorite. Well, Emma, I thought we'd start with you because I really liked how your Panic leg grab came from listening to shows rather than being at a show. So your story's a little bit different than mine and Jeffrey's. So do you mind starting?
Absolutely. So I remember the day I was laying in the grass at a friend's house and somebody sent me Diner from Lightview's Getaway. And at the time I was a bit of a deadhead, which I'm so thankful I evolved from there. Um, um, and I just remember actually listening to Diner for the first time because I might have heard Panic before, but this time I actually sat down and listened to it. And I just remember hearing the organ starting, and it just felt like a light was being shined into my soul. And JB just
Aw.
really telling the story, just the way that he composes every little word in his voice. Like sometimes even live, he'll do like a certain little squeak in a certain part of a sentence while he's singing. And to an outside ear, that might sound like a mistake. But to me, it sounds like he does every little thing on purpose. And I just feel it so much. So I just remember that first time hearing Diner, just the way that the band plays together, it creates amazing imagery with the words and the sounds. And I just took it and ran from there, and fell so in love with them. And I just feel like there's so much in the music to hear that I felt like I was made to listen to this music.
That's
Um, And music only knows what the people feel. So I feel like the music kind of listens to us and our own stories as we weave it into our lives too. Like I remember it would just blow me away when I'd first be listening to a lot of them every day, all the time. Um, let's say I'd have the everyday CD in on my car, and I'd be thinking about like a fun time with a friend, and then JB would say, "Crow flew by my window pane," and that would happen as I was driving. I feel like that's a minor example because there's deeper thoughts about life that I'd be having, and I'd be listening to, let's say, Tallboy or Greta or something in the background, and it would just like ride the wave of my thoughts with me. And I just so appreciate getting to exist with this band. And I discovered them around the time 2021 when COVID was kind of, people were about to be able to come together again. And I remember thinking to myself, like, I'd love to see them at Red Rocks. Just they kind of have this dusty cowboy vibe sometimes, and I feel like it would fit the scenery there. And I'd never been there, but I had no friends where I lived who liked Panic, and I kind of was thinking to myself, if they play there, like I really want to go. I don't know how I'll figure it out, but I want to go. And I managed to make one friend where I lived, and we flew together to Red Rocks. And I remember our plane even got delayed, but I wasn't even mad about the plane getting delayed. I was just so happy. Everything up to that point with the music connecting to me had just fallen into my lap. So I was like, we're gonna make it. It's gonna be fine. And I remember showing up to Red Rocks as they walked out on stage, and I was in front of JB, and they started playing I'm Not Alone, which symbolizes so much to me because after that moment, I wasn't alone anymore with my Panic endeavors, and I made some of the best friends I'll ever have and continue to. So it's just been very meaningful to my life.
Oh, thank you, Emma. I think that's the year we met.
Yes. And I definitely remember meeting you the year after that too, where they played a super ripping Conrad at Red Rocks. And I would like to add too, I feel like we've all had our own personal journey with in our hearts with members of the band, but I specifically um, just had a really deep connection at first listening to the way that Mikey plays. I just feel that he could just light things on fire and then also leave you with this comforting embrace as he just had these loving, lingering notes and just something away about the way he plays with his hair kind of in his face. I feel like he's kind of connected to spiritual things and was pulling from a really special place, and it is very special to me. So, I don't know if you're able to pull it up quickly, but they just released that Baltimore 97 show, and I was listening to Last Straw.
Do you have anything else you want to share?
I just was gonna say I related with the fact that we've talked about Tall Boy already too, because I just remember falling in love with that riff as one of my original most loved songs too. But thank you so much for having me.
All right, well, let's go back in time.
So I am 51 now, soon to be 52 next month. And where I live in South Carolina, it's not very far from Augusta, Georgia. So my first show technically was, well, my first show that I went to for Widespread Panic was Into the Grateful Dead as well, and discovered Widespread Panic through that avenue or that street, whatever. Anyway, so my first show that I went to with, like Danny, we loaded up the car of probably 10 or 12 people and made the like 15-mile trip across the border to Augusta. And to this place called the Post Office. It's a bar. And we're all like sophomores and juniors in high school. So no one is 18. So 16 to 17. And we go 6/15/89 was the show. And we go, and of course we get denied. But
Don't be denied.
but
I'm sorry.
They took the manager or whoever, somebody, I don't know, people, whoever took pity on us and said, you can go around back. So the back of this place is where they did load in and out, and said you can go to the back and sit by the doors, and I'll leave the doors open, and you can listen to the show like that. But you guys behave yourself. So we did, and so that was my first show, I guess technically. But my actual first show that I got inside the venue was Halloween '89 at the Georgia Theater.
Oh wow!
Which,
wow. What was JB for Halloween that year?
So I have no clue.
We'll watch Sandbox Channel. It'll be all right.
Drew, as I stumped the guest, you've done it right off the rip.
Story too.
Yeah,
were all of them in the band then, or was
T. Lavitt?
No. Right. T. Lavitz. Yeah.
But like, was Sonny in the band yet, and JoJo?
Sonny was.
JoJo was not.
JoJo was not in the band until 90.
Yeah, it was a lot different. Definitely a lot different sound. And I don't really remember much of like the songs. I do remember like Lowrider. That was really special. It still is special.
Yeah.
And Sweet Leaf Encore. That's still always good as well.
Yeah.
And then like there's really obscure Shootout at the Fantasy Factory. Like I
was just gonna ask about that song.
Yeah, I don't remember that, and it's apparently it's a not a Traffic song, but maybe a Steve Winwood song. And so I think that, but they only played it. You're talking about nerd stats. It had a really short life. Like it was busted out, I guess, here at Halloween. And then it went away on like New Year's Eve of '89.
Yeah, but they played it like every night. They played it November 2nd, November 3rd, November 7th, November 14th, 15th, 21/30.
Right. So it certainly had a short shelf life. It's like the Casa del Grillo. It's up on the shelf forever, I believe. This is Shootout at the Fantasy Factory.
Yeah.
Listen to JB, how young his voice sounds, man. It's almost like, man, is that Samantha Woods singing? Or is that JB? So that's different there for sure. And of course, then there was a Satisfied. I guess that's why I always am hoping for a Satisfied. I'm hoping that is going to come off the shelf here sometime real soon. So, but yeah, and then like again, I don't really remember too much, like I said, about the show. I certainly don't remember what JB was for Halloween. Might have been nothing back then. I did do a mail order one time. I remember participating in it and sending my money to Brown Cat Inc. I do remember that. But
I did find a sweet leaf from the next Halloween.
Yeah, they played it a lot. Used to play it a lot at Halloween.
Yeah, I'll take it.
So I think only like 22 times total though, which is kind of interesting. But yeah, that's kind of my story. On the way home, I do remember this. On the way home, so to go from where I live in South Carolina, you take 20 west, and then you get off and go through rural country over to Athens. And Athens, University of Georgia, is a huge agricultural school, and so they have a lot of farmland and so forth. And some cattle had gotten out, but it was only like a small hole, so they were kind of channeling to the white edge line of the road. And as my buddy went by, one of the cattle like turned in just perfect timing with its horns and knocked his mirror off. And so lost the mirror on the way home. I do remember that because we laughed like hell. And of course, back then, you took a risk. It's not like these kids these days with these brand new modern cars. It was whose piece of shit car did we have the most faith in to get us over to wherever we needed to go. So yeah. But yeah, knocked the mirror off on the way back to South Carolina. I do remember that and laughing like hell about it. So, but anyway,
yeah, this is really interesting. I pulled up Sweet Leaf. So that was the first one, 12/31/89. It's been played, I think, 17 times. But what's weird is like they played it on Halloween 93, but then they also encored with it the next night and the night after that. And then they played it 10/29/94 and then played it on Halloween that same year. So it has these like weird show gaps, like 185, 25, 281, 165, 1. You know what I mean?
That's so weird. Like back to back series in there. That's
right.
Interesting.
It is interesting. So yeah, you saw the first one ever.
Yeah. Well, that was also the second show for Widespread Panic at the Georgia Theater. The first one was the first one was the night before, which I don't know why we didn't go to. Who knows? I don't know. We might have had algebra homework that we were trying to all cheat on. I'm not sure. But anyway, I'm thankful for what Emma had to say about the lingering lead, Mikey. That's exactly right. Certainly something was going on. Something still is going on. Anyway, that's about all I got. As I always say, turn JB up.
Well, one of my favorite things you ever told me, Will, when I told you I was, had a dream of starting this podcast, is that some people feel it and some people don't. But when you feel it in your spine, you are hooked in. And so,
yeah. It's definitely it comes in through your fingertips and goes out through your toes. Man, I don't know. Like I said, it's something about that lingering lead, and the lingering lead, like JB says, the wizard is still in the corner, very much so. So now we've just evolved, and as he said before, it's still your band, Mikey. So, good stuff. Appreciate it.
It's beautiful. Thanks, Will.
Good job, Will. Thank you so much.
I went to All Good Festival 2008. Panic played the second night, and I thought they played, what was the song? I thought it was Fuck Truck, but it was what's the tune? Angels on High. And they played the whole concert. I just remember thinking, man, that band was really great. But I wasn't obsessed with them. I thought Phil Lesh was still the best, which he still is. Rest in peace, Phil. And I saw Panic in Greenville, South Carolina. God, it was Secret of Mayo. It was Secret of Mayo, 2010. And like, if you go back to this concert, like, if you really want to like nerd out, do your stats. Like, if you wanted to do a greatest hits album and have it one concert, it was that one. You can even talk to those guys. They'd probably be like, shit, she's right, dude. Like, they hit. And I never seen more pot smoke in the South, period. I was like, so they're away with this? And after that, I didn't see Widespread Panic for 8 years. Dude,
That was
these
the
guys,
first Cotton was King.
pardon?
That was the
First,
first Cotton was King.
yeah, I was at the first Cotton Was King.
Hell yeah.
Oh, we're Colin King. I'll never forget at that concert they did Sharon, and I was like, did they do there's a place in France where the naked ladies dance, you know?
Yeah,
I,
totally.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? I was like, but I'm such a deadhead, and I'm a almost, I'm a schooled musician. I went to Berklee College of Music, and like, I'm not to fuck with the guys in the band, but I know how to play. And I was like, man, these guys know how to play. What pulled me into Widespread Panic? It was 2019, and I got a text from one of my best friends, and he goes, Augie, and it's a question mark. I'm like, Augie what? And he goes, Augie Panic, and I go, man, I'm thinking about it. Yeah. So I start talking to other people, and they're like, no, you have to go. You have to go. You have to go. So I get in my buddy's car. We're rolling down the highway. We pass out at a Buc-ee's to like halfway, to like sleep. And while we're passing out, I go, man, I don't know about this. Like, I love Phil. Like, Phil's gonna die on miss. I just don't think any jam band is just good anymore. Like, I respect it. I love it. I'm like this. I'm like, I feel like one of those people that when Jerry died, that was it. I was like, you cannot revive or resuscitate me to believe in music anymore because of fucking. And he was like, okay. So the first night at Algie, I get in, I take a heroic dose, and JB all of a sudden is my dad. And I lose my sandals, my shirt melts off of me. I can't. Growing up everywhere, and I'm screaming, JB is my dad. Where's my dad? And it was invigorating because I felt like I was like this here. I'm exaggerating right now. What I'm trying to say is that Widespread Panic is my family. I found my home team, but but to make a long story short or longer, the music the second night, it was more intense than the first night, and the night before it was cool because the way they hooked me was they did one way or another. They did new Speedway Boogie, and I was like, okay, they love Jerry. But the second night, I was down up in the front, and let's just say I had a bag of inconspicuous things, and they did an encore about inconspicuous things, about being inconspicuous, and like I okay, I'm a talented person. I've been through things. I know a whippersnapper when I see one, but you know, I saw the whip snap be on me. And the encore that Panic did, they did Can't Get High.
Cocaine.
And they did Cocaine. Yeah, right. And then they did High Time They Win by Joe Cocker.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, man, these ain't even their fucking songs, dude. And they're their songs. And like I said, I've seen a lot of Dead concerts. It's not about me. It's about I never heard that many people that loud around me drown out music. And I was like, whoa. Like, we love this band just as much as they love us, but they probably love us more. And that's my story.
Do you want to listen to one of those songs from the encore?
Yeah, play High Time We Went.
Deal.
Great encore.
That was so good. They only played it 8 times. That was the last time they've played it.
There's a little more than widespread panic than the party and all the good times we've all had and will continue to have. But
Well, it's
yeah, for sure special. So yeah, even old times and new times, they continue to amaze me, and I'm so glad that they are not trying to do, 75 dates a year, and what they're doing is very special. And if you're lucky enough to get a ticket and be there, that it's a special time, no matter where it is. So I'm glad they're doing that, continuing to tour and continue to provide us the music in that way.
Yeah. Oh my God, that was so beautiful because like the inspiration, and since we don't know what life is going to give us and how long we're going to be here, the band last year, it could have ended. We could never see Widespread Panic again. I live in Asheville. We had a hurricane, and I almost got. Well, I did get
the wizard's still in the corner.
I got
Thank
shot.
God.
The wizard's still in the corner. Thank God.
All y'all have just, these stories. The amazing thing about this is just sitting here with this little crew here. I mean, there's thousands of these stories out there. I want to hear them all. I mean, this is
Me too.
Everyone's story of how Panic grabbed their leg, because it's like those beautiful stories of like when your parents tell the story of how they met, and everyone kind of shushes up at the table and listens to that, or someone tells the story of how they ended up living in a certain place, or things. There's like a pivotal life events that you can't plan out that have such a huge impact. All right, well, peace, love, and panic, y'all, and just keep the shiny side up and the dirty side down.
Absolutely. Peace and chicken grace.
That's right.
Thank you for joining us.
This has been a production of We Are the Lucky Ones, a 501c3 nonprofit organization built by fans and built for fans. Keep on keeping on, take care of each other out there, and we'll see you at the show.